Hello guys, and welcome to a new video. And today we are going to talk about commander investments and whether you should have certain meta commanders, expertise, 5551 or 5511 as more budget friendly March. And if a commander is at say 5115 as their usable state, we will just put them into this 5511 category. And we are mainly going to focus on the strongest marches right now in the open field for SOC. And without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So first up, William Wallace, I would say, goes into the 5551 category. Ideally, you'd want him expertise, but you could start using him at a 5551 configuration. Belisarius Prime must be expertised. His expertise is really strong with that all damage bonus for 5 marches. Obviously, if you don't have 5 marches and you're only running 3 marches, you could probably get away with a more budget friendly build. But if you have 5 marches, you must expertise this commander. Guard Armada for ranged. You can do a budget march for this particular ranged commander. His expertise is apparently not that strong, so he'd probably one of the more budget friendly ranged commanders you could go for, and he'll be pretty solid at this configuration. Cordoba, I think you want expertise ideally, but you could do a 5551 configuration if you wanted, but I'll put him in expertise because he's a lot stronger. Ash, I would say expertise. He has the 5 random buffs on his expertise, which, depending on which one lands, these could be really significant buffs to your army when you're running this march. So I would say expertise most likely. Herman Prime, you could run at 5551 and you will have 80 to 90% of his value, just because his expertise it doesn't have the highest likelihood to proc. You can run at 5551 and this will be most of your commander value. Luce must be expertised. His rage engine, also allowing you not to use a Horn of Fury as an accessory, which opens the door to using a Greatest Glory with your Ring of Doom. Luce must be expertised to do the extra combo attacks and do the extra turns on his expertise. Hero, I would say 5551. People debate whether his expertise is worth doing just because it resets your skill cycle, but it also allows you to do a strong heal. But I think if you're just going for the high damage, the hero being at a budget march is still really strong. Zhu Liang, I think you could run at 5511. Even at this configuration, he will be stronger than YSG, probably even with the triple relic. So if you're working with the Herman Prime and Zhu Liang, I would say you still want to expertise this commander over Herman Prime first, but even at 5511, you've got a stronger commander here than your YSG. Let's go for what's another strong? Scipio Prime, I would say is 5551, unless you're pairing him with Guan, which is currently not the meta right now. People are going for Ragnar Prime over Guan, so you could run a 5551 Scipio for strong value, and you will have most of his kit with that configuration. Joan of Arc 5115 is your ideal configuration for this commander, and with that you'll have most of her value, where you will be doing double procs on her AoE on her primary skill. Obviously it's given that 5115 skill configuration will be quite difficult to get, so you could end up doing like a 5235 or something if you get unlucky, but this will still be like a budget friendly March you can run, and I always recommend Joan of Arc to newer players over some of the other cav commanders like Huo, just because we've got new cav commanders potentially coming in early 2025. Then you got Nevsky. I think 5551 is a good investment for Nevsky. You would ideally want the expertise, like a lot of these commanders, but I think at usable state you could run a 5551 Nevsky and still have probably like 70-75% of its value and still be strong enough in earlier SOC KVKs. Boudica is another 5551 commander where most of her kit, like 90-95% of her kit, is in this configuration, unless you're pairing her with, I believe, Artemisia, then you'd want the expertise, but outside of that, keep her at 5551. She's still fairly solid in SOC, but there are a lot of other archer commanders now that are better than her, so I wouldn't necessarily focus on her as a first archer investment. Next up, we got William, or Old William, as I like to say. At 5551, you get most of his value. You still get some rage gain for you and your allies. Decent rectangular AoE. Still probably in the top 2 cav commanders at the moment, or cav pairings, that is. I wouldn't necessarily invest in him right now, but at 5551 you could get him from dailies and he's a good investment. Let's see. 5551. You don't care about his third skill, so this would be a 5515 configuration for Guan, and that will be most of his kit available. Obviously again, that last skill onto 5 is going to be a bit challenging, but most of his kit is at this configuration, and I wouldn't recommend expertise in him nowadays with Ragnar Prime now in the game. He's just better than Guan, even though he still has the silence, which makes him unique, and a lot of people still value the silence. But I wouldn't say Guan is super meta right now. Gorgo, still good for the field. I think it's might be 5515 or 5115. Gorgo's still strong in the field. She can be used in a smite pairing. I don't think you need to expertise her if you're going to use her in the open field, but there is some value there. So if you want a budget infantry smite commander, this is a good shout. Any other commanders I should be looking at? Got Barber. I think you ideally want expertise for range. I think you'd want him expertise over Garja. Margaret, I think you could run at 5511. Apparently it would still be better than the epic new range commanders. based on Mr. Siege's testing. So you could probably get away with like a expertise Barber with 5511 Margaret, and that would be a strong range pairing. Barber brings a lot of the high skill damage which you need for that pairing. And then you've got commands like Sargon, but I wouldn't recommend investing in Sargon right now. Henry I wouldn't invest in. And I think I'm missing some of the commanders on this tier list that I would like to talk about. Yeah, so you have the new archer commander, Shajar. Shajar, I would definitely expertise. See why I wouldn't use in the open field. And I would say this is probably the best commanders you can use in the field right now, and their configurations to be used. Could throw Henry in there, but I wouldn't recommend Henry for archers right now. And yeah, so that's just a quick video tier list about if you're entering first SOC, commander configurations. This is what I would recommend for some of the best commanders. And obviously up to you whether you want to split your investments in younger KVKs. I know some people are like going into SOC with 1,000 gold heads into KVK3 for instance, and they want to get 2 marches off the field. So you'd potentially want to invest in some of these commanders over these commanders. Even though like Luce at 5551, I'd still stick down here, even at budget friendly March. But you ideally want him expertised first over most other commanders, in my opinion. So thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.